down to 12th place. A few more people had him in, actually. He got 7 points.
We're getting there.
And a few people had him in. Like 4 people had him in.
About him there.
But he's not in the top 10. He's in 12th. It's Garnacho.
Get there.
Okay, that's the first guy that I voted for. This is the first guy who's on my list that they've named. I had him, I think, exactly at 10th.
Hell out of here, man.
I never had him.
Get the hell out of here, man. Come on, man. I know it's
Why
Liban.
so-
I know it's
Everyone
abs.
imagine they're healthy.
I feel like Stars put him in there for
I know
banter.
for a fact. I mean, it's gone. Chunks is gone as well.
What's wrong with putting Garnacho in?
All 3 United fans and Chunks.
Yeah, there you go.
What's the problem with it?
Well,
That is smelly,
Come
you
on,
know.
fam, you're
Where did
from-
they have him in? What places?
so the United fans, Abs and Lias both had him at 10th. So he just
Yeah.
made a list.
Come on, Liban.
Liban had that 9th.
Okay.
And Chunks had him the highest at 8th.
So he's the highest at 8th, and it's a problem that Garnacho's on the list. I don't understand that one, bro. Look, Garnacho, right? I say this a lot about Garnacho. I don't think Garnacho, talent, natural ability-wise, is on the level of the likes of Yamal, of Jude, of Musiala, of even an Arda Güler, of Kobbie Mainoo. I think Kobbie Mainoo is a better natural talent than Garnacho is. But let's make 2 things very clear. Natural talent and pure footballing ability, as much as I believe they're critical to have as a player, they're not the be-all, end-all. You can be a terrific player without being more talented than another guy. You can be a better player than player B and also be less talented than player B. And Garnacho, for me, is the blueprint of that. I'm not trying to say Garnacho's a scrub. Garnacho's a talented kid. But he's not for me like an otherworldly talent like the other guys I just named. However, what he's showing you on the pitch every single time he steps up for Manchester United at 19 years old is starting to, in my opinion, get disrespected. The numbers that he's putting up, the minutes that he's putting up, the versatility that he's showing, the moments that he's kind of performing in, the big goals, the big moments that he's kind of providing. A struggling Man United team. To be Garnacho's age and a guy that, again, I don't even think is a supernatural talent like the likes of Messi or Yamal or Rooney. I don't think he's at that level. And yet is still being relied as one of Man United's main players and succeeding at doing so. That deserves a whole lot more respect than the way they're talking about Alejandro Garnacho, in my opinion. And second of all, the way that they've spoken about all of these players, chat, they are continuously saying, oh, we shouldn't judge on potential. We shouldn't judge on potential. We shouldn't judge on potential. What have they done? Garnacho has done a whole lot more than most guys his age. Whether you think he's more talented or a better footballer than any of them, he's done more than them. That has to count at some point, bro. That has to count. He's just severely limited for me personally. What makes Garnacho severely limited? That makes him sound like McTominay. No disrespect. He can run with the ball. He can dribble. He can shoot with both feet. He can cross a ball. He can get himself in the goal-scoring positions. He's a very talented finisher. What makes him limited? I'm a little confused here. He's an off-the-bench type of player. Garnacho played more minutes last season for Man United than any other attacker, and he was their most reliable attacker. Is he better than Doku or Barcola? What makes Barcola better than Garnacho? For me, similar level. And Garnacho has done more than him. I don't have a problem with Garnacho being 12th on this list. Like, if you don't have Garnacho in your top 10, I'm not trying to say like that's an outrageous shout. Like I said, there's more talented players for me out there. But acting like he's the most ridiculous name that they've named so far is crazy. Like, he shouldn't be the first guy that you say, oh, smelly show. There's players that have not accomplished half of what Garnacho has on this list. We just talked about Oscar Bob. Terrific player, terrific talent. But Oscar Bob is okay to be on this list, but not Garnacho, even though we're all agreeing what you do is important. We can't have it both ways, chat. If what you do is important, Oscar Bob cannot be clapped and Garnacho booed. Garnacho has done much more than Oscar Bob. Fact. That's not even that's not bias. That's not a take. That's not an opinion. It's a fact. He's done more than him. I don't know. I feel like now at this point, Garnacho is starting to get disrespected, in my opinion. Again, I'm not trying to be out here saying Garnacho should be the Ballon d'Or winner. But look, right? I remember when Martinelli was kind of bursting onto the scene at Arsenal. And he had that big season where he scored all those goals. The way people were talking about Martinelli and the way people now are talking about Garnacho, for me, is a massive case of flirting versus harassment. Because the two are not that different. The two really aren't that different in terms of what their best attributes are. I think personally, I think he's being disrespected here. I'm not saying he has to be in your top 10, but to act like saying Garnacho is one of the best under 21 players in the world when he's done what he's done at this point in his career and what he continues doing, I don't know, man. Like, and you guys know me. For me, I rate natural ability more so than anything. Like, how good you are as a footballer will take you very, very high in your career. But what Garnacho also has at this point in his career compared to a lot of these under 21 players, and something that people don't take into account, is the intangible aspect of things. Garnacho's best attribute in my eyes are his bravery. He is not afraid of any single moment whatsoever. And for a 19-year-old, that has to be applauded. The risks that this guy is willing to take, the positions he gets into, the moments he steps up in, Those are all intangibles, right? They're not traits. They're not qualities. They're intangibles. Most players that they've named on this list, if not all of them, have not been able to replicate so far in their career. Opportunity doesn't mean done more. Yes, it does. If he's gotten the opportunity, it's for a reason. And he's therefore taken the opportunity and ran to the hills with it. What do you mean it doesn't mean he's done more? He factually has done more. Factually. Until they get those opportunities, it's all hypotheticals. And we've all stated in this video, potential and what you could go on to do should not count. So in that case, they should be respecting what Garnacho has done. That's the way I look at it.